other, I was, I didn't feel that we were convincing of. So the first was the conviction in the scaling laws and the idea that, if you scale up models, you give them more data, more compute. Again, there are a few modifications like RL, but not really very much. It's pretty close to pure scaling. You find that, when you do that, you find, incredible increases in performance. And, I was finding that in like 2019 with GPT-2. When we just first saw the first glimmers of the scaling laws. And of course, there were a lot of folks, inside and outside who didn't believe it at all. And we really made the case to leadership.
Today everyone was very serious about this and everyone was discussing this, so now I'm also concerned. This guy has written so many things. This guy is coming from the biology background, CEO of Anthropic, and he made some such huge claims. No posts as of now. So this is very serious topic, I'm going to say. I'm thinking to create a dedicated video on this on my channel.
Like this is important. This is going to be a big deal. And I think they were kind of starting to believe us and ultimately went in that direction. And there was a second, conviction I had, which is, look, if these models are going to be kind of general cognitive agents, like
when something sounds complicated, and I'm not a programmer, I don't have a background in code.
Everybody in IT right now is discussing this. Like, I have heard this from 1,000 guys from our industry, and they're like very serious.
So I used a bunch of tools for things like research and a conversation both ways, but I never tried
this is going to change
to figure out if I could code using your tool, for example. Recently, I hired a developer just to push me to sit for a couple of hours a day and teach me how to start becoming more familiar with it. Largely because of, something like FOMO, like the fear of missing out on how the world is changing. So I started playing with Claude.
Same reason.
I used the connectors to connect my Google Drive, Mail, and Calendar, and a bunch of those things. I started using the Cowork, and then I started using Claude Code to write simple programs around the industry that I am in, which is financial services, basically to research stock markets and stuff.
We even have an optimized Claude for financial services. I don't know if you've tried that, but we even have that.
No. And then I went into Claudebot, which is now OpenClaw. I think Claudebot became something else and now is OpenClaw.
And stream, I haven't optimized my stream for that. So maybe you can click on the channel and go and see the full stream, because the vertical stream is not optimized again.
I set it up on a Mac Mini and connected it to a Telegram account, and now I chat with it, and I try and move files from A to B, work on a server on remote. It's getting to that point where I'm not talking about OpenClaw, but even Claude with all the connectors, sometimes it surprises me by how much it knows me. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, one of my co-founders, he was writing this diary with his
one day like to do some kind of experiment. My company is pushing us to try AI in different manner, as the requirement is to use 100% AI for all of the code generated. I was trying to one thing I tried in simple way, I'll tell you, asking one AI to find answers from the another AI. I tried Claude and Copilot simultaneously, So where at some places Copilot is better, some places ChatGPT is better, some places Claude is better, but we can't have best of all. So to get the best of all the world, we can let the AI talk in such a way that give me a prompt for this thing. We can take input from another prompt, another model, and we can get the answer. So this way it worked very well. We'll move back to lead code problem solving in a while, but first I want to read about this guy. Each of the million copies can act independently on unrelated tasks, or if needed, can all work together in the same way humans would collaborate, perhaps with different subpopulations fine-tuned to be especially good at particular task. Yeah, I'll tell you what this guy is trying to tell from this whole video and all. So I'll tell you how these guys think. I know, pretty sure I've read many things. So let me draw something. What is that Excel draw? Not on this. We have locked in on this one. So this is our yesterday's task. So I'll tell you how these people think and what they are trying to achieve, and how these things are going to work. Is it working? Yeah. So see, there is this group of people. Here we are. Okay. So there are many people who are like not so good than us. So we are at this level. This is like X. Don't go here. We have to go inside. So the pyramid, like how the pyramid structure is basically. So the people at the top is like driving us. You believe or not, but the people, the not even 1%, maybe 0.1% people who are driving us. We are what they. We are just the thoughts of them. So we are nothing but what they have thought the world would be. Okay. So these are like senior most super class citizens of the world, and we are maybe somewhere. We are maybe somewhere in between here. Okay. So this V, and we are like most mediocre population. Okay. So the systems that they are talking, these guys at the center, they have systems. They don't work like us. They don't. Yeah, people left. They are not interested in this one, but this is a really interesting thing. The people at the top, they have systems, and through the systems, they create wealth. So the companies that we are working for are nothing but the systems that they have created. They have created systems in such a manner that these systems should work on their own. So we are working for their systems. Now at this point in time, like before 2021, we can say they had only one way to make this system work. These systems work is to hire the best people. Now they don't have to hire the best people. What AI has turned is like the people who have joined, there's no one, so it doesn't matter. Hire the best people, but now there was a problem. Like these best people were not actually the best. Like they were at the end humans, and humans are prone to make mistakes. But AI, being the AI in picture, they can recalibrate the system, so they don't need the best people. They don't need the best people because they can have best niche AI. Okay, so the point that I was trying to make here see, each of these million copies can act independently on unrelated tasks, or if needed can all work together in the same way humans would collaborate. Humans always collaborated to create some kind of organization, company or something. Okay, perhaps with different subpopulation fine tuned to be especially good at particular tasks. So here in this one, he is trying to say this in rich people criticizing their own systems.
Rich people saying capitalism is bad.
If rich people believed capitalism were truly bad or the income inequality is such a big problem, the simplest thing would be to do would be to stop accumulating further wealth, and then nudge their friends to do the same.
But I'm not saying AI is bad, right? We just talked about this two sides of it. My view isn't that AI is bad. That's not my view at all. My view is that the market will deliver a lot of really great things about AI, that it's good to build AI, but that there are dangers of AI, and that we need to steer AI in the right direction. We're steering this car, we're steering it towards a good place, but also there are trees, there are potholes. And so what we need to do is we need to steer away from the trees and the potholes. We might need to occasionally slow down a bit, probably temporarily, in order to make sure that we steer in the right direction. That isn't like, the analogy wouldn't be a rich person saying capitalism is bad. It would be like if a rich person said capitalism is a force for good, but the economy, it needs to be leavened. It needs to be moderated, right? We need to deal with problems like pollution. We need to deal with problems like inequality, and then capitalism can be good. If we don't deal with those things, then capitalism might be bad. And so that is more analogous to the position that I have here.
The concept of consciousness, where is that going, and what does the AI think it is? If AI were to question itself, do you think it thinks it's consciousness? It has consciousness?
So, this is one of these mysterious questions that we really don't have any kind of, answer to. We don't know what human consciousness is, and therefore we don't know if AIs have it.
What do you think it is?
So, I suspect that it's an emergent property of, systems that are complicated enough that kind of reflect on their own decisions. That it's something that emerges from complex enough systems. And so I do think when our AI systems get advanced enough, I suspect they'll have something that resembles what we would call consciousness or moral significance. I do think it'll happen at some point. It may not be the same as human consciousness. It may be different in how it works because the modalities are different, because the things it's learned are different. But having studied the brain and the way it's wired together, the models are different in some ways, but I don't think they're different in the fundamental ways that matter. So I am someone who does suspect that at some point, even if I don't think they are today, I suspect that at some point the models will, we would indeed say under most definitions that we would endorse that the models will be conscious.
This is a question I keep asking myself when people talk to me about things like spirituality or consciousness. I feel like the world is very random. This is my view. And we are not far removed from cockroaches. When somebody stamps a cockroach, the cockroach dies. if there is something called consciousness and if there is a collective consciousness, I've not been able to either connect with it or derive anything from it. Do you believe differently?
I don't think consciousness, necessarily needs to mean anything, mystical, right? Like, there's some property of kind of being aware of your own existence and feeling things and being able to take, will it be better than most humans, including even the physical world, will it be better than most humans, kind of trying observation. This is a very empirical
might improve
science. This is a very empirical observation. Let's see what AI does, today, and like we'll kind of try and adapt to that. The kind of system starts to figure it out, and then we'll see what happens next. I do think, in the long run, will AI be better than us at basically everything? Will it be better than most humans, including even the physical world and robotics and the human touch? Yeah, I think that is, I think that is, possible, maybe even likely. It's something that goes beyond the country of geniuses in a data center I described, because that's purely virtual. But building robots is something, it's a skill. It's something you can do. So maybe the AIs will make us better at that as well. But the way I think about it is, we need to figure this out step by step and figure out how to adapt to it.
This might sound a bit self-serving to the people who know me, because I believe the reason so much risk capital exists in America, not the only reason, but one of the big reasons, is how big your stock market is and how much of an opportunity it is for this risk capital to exit eventually. It's a case for why India should really allow for our stock markets to flourish. The audience that I speak to is very much the wannabe entrepreneur in India. What can they do in AI? What is an actual opportunity?
I think there's a lot of opportunities around building at kind of the application layer. We release a new model every 2 or 3 months. And so there's an opportunity every 2 or 3 months to build some new thing that wasn't possible before, that wouldn't have worked before because the models were weak. People, in fact, say the majority of our revenue still comes from the API model. People say that, API models aren't viable or that they'll be commoditized or whatever. I think what people are not seeing is there's this expanding sphere of what is possible with AI, and the API allows, this new startup to try making something that, wasn't possible before. Yeah. And this is why the API is such a flourishing business, and it's constantly in motion, it's constantly in churn, and so it doesn't, it doesn't get commoditized. It's a very dynamic thing. And so I think there's an opportunity for lots of individuals to just say, what can I build? What can I build on top of these models with an API? Like, what are the things that I can make that others cannot make? What are some new ideas? And we've seen that. We see both with the API itself and with Claude Code. I think the number of users and the number of revenue we've seen in India has doubled since I last visited in October. So that was November, December, like 3.5 months since I visited.
True.
It's doubled.
But I'm going to be candid here, Dario. You're a company which is worth, 400 billion or 380 billion today. You've raised 35 billion. You do 15 billion of revenue, but going up really, really fast. If I build an application on top of Claude, that for some reason, I'm sitting in Bangalore in JP Nagar and building this. That for some reason happens to work for a short period of time. It is but a matter of time before you will want to onboard that revenue and not let that lie with me.
Yeah.
And you will probably better that application in a manner that I will never be able to.
Yeah.
I've heard this argument for different people, like the Harvey, the legal AI company in New York. They're friends of mine, and they were talking about how they built on top of OpenAI, but eventually they don't know if it's an easy fix for OpenAI to do what they're doing.
Yeah, true.
So even if I were to build it, say you put out a model in three months or 6 months, what is to stop you from taking that revenue center away from me and onto yourself in a certain period of time?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's a few things here. One is I would give the advice that I give to basically any business and say like a business should establish a moat. Your moat, you shouldn't be just a wrapper, right? Like, I would not advise that, you just say, oh, like, here's a way to interact with Claude. Like, I'm going to prompt Claude a little bit, or I'm going to build a little bit of a UI around Claude. Like that doesn't have a moat. And, you shouldn't be worried about Anthropic in particular eating that revenue. Anyone can eat that revenue, right? It's not super valuable. But what I would say is
Oof. Yeah. Let's get back to what we were doing. So fuck this shit. So okay, back to what we were doing. Uh, as you are no more interested in this stuff. Design the low level architecture for a backend system of a smart parking lot. This system should handle vehicle enter and exit management, parking space allocation, and fee calculation. Problem statement: imagine a parking lot in urban area with multiple floors and numerous parking spots. Your task is to create low levels design for a system that efficiently manages parking process. The system should automatically assign parking spots based on vehicle size and availability track. Okay, I have solved this problem. Functional requirements: parking spot allocation, automatically assign an available parking spot. The way to solve this kind of problem is by asking how this GitHub link. Check in, check out, parking fee calculation, real time availability update. Oh, I guess I need some. Amazon system design parking garage.
I would like you to design a reservation and payment system for a parking garage. Welcome everyone to another mock interview at Exponent. Today we're going to be doing a systems design interview question with Tim.
Hey, my name's Tim. My name is like Amazon Lab 126 or Airbnb.
So the question today, I would like you to design a reservation and payment system for a parking garage.
All right, awesome. Yeah, we can just dive right into it if you'd like. The first thing I like to do generally is sort of clarify the requirements a little bit, just to make sure I'm not making any like incorrect assumptions. So to start off, I guess I'll write some of them down just to make sure I've got them off the bat.
Sure.
Let's see. So for this type of reservation system, presumably we need a way to be able to like reserve a parking spot and maybe receive some kind of, I guess, ticket or receipt.
Yes, that's correct.
Make this a little wider here. You obviously need to be able to pay for the parking spot.
Yep.
And then I guess this might be more of like a scale requirement, but at a higher level, if we think about this type of like product, we'd probably prefer to err on the side of higher consistency.
Yeah.
Because like if I'm thinking about it, we probably don't want two people to be able to reserve the same parking spot, obviously.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. And then I'm curious, are there different types of parking? Because if I think about like a normal parking garage, you know, there's like maybe a handicap spot, maybe some larger spots, maybe some smaller spots.
So I think for this question, let's restrict it to 3 types of spots, depending on the size of the vehicle. So compact, regular, and large vehicles.
Large. Awesome. And then are the prices for the garages, would they be flat rate?
Yeah, let's say flat rate, but different rates for the 3 different types of parking, and flat rate based on time.
Cool. All right, awesome. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense to me. And then obviously, I believe this should be some form of, I guess, web app or mobile app interfacing with a backend server. Yeah. With these, I guess, product requirements in mind, I guess we can dive right into defining the sort of interface or the API we're going to be working with. So I think this type of thing is going to have some public endpoints and then some internal endpoints. So I'll maybe start us off with some of the more public endpoints. So off the bat, we need, as we mentioned in the product requirements, a way to reserve. So let's call this one /reserve, and I'm just calling it this. And in reality, it doesn't have to be like immediately RESTful. It could be like GraphQL or anything. This is just so we have a general understanding of what this should look like.
I think that sounds good.
And so what should this type of thing take? We obviously want to know which garage we're referring to. We want to know, I guess, when the time duration during which this should be reserved as well. So that seems pretty reasonable. So let's go with those.
So his written product requirements need to be able to reserve a parking spot and receive some kind of ticket or receipt. Need to be able to pay for parking spot. Systems needs to have a high consistency. No 2 people should be able to reserve the same spot. 3 types of vehicles: compact, regular, and large. Flat rate based on type, but different rates depending on the type of parking. It's too complicated. No need to be this kind of complicacy here.
Along those lines. And then as we mentioned in the sort of product requirements, we should return some type of receipt or ticket. So let's say it returns a tuple. Obviously we want the specific spot as well as potentially like a way to identify which specific reservation we're referring to. So we just call that like a reservation ID. Okay. So yeah, that seems reasonable for that. Then there should be some form of payment endpoint. And obviously this is probably beyond the scope of the specific problem per se, but the actual implementation could probably just be handled by like a third party. So yeah, we want to pay by reservation ID, and then I want to say like, you could probably end up using something like Stripe or Square, or like alternatively, you could implement your own. That's like a little more complex.
Yeah, I think we can assume that a third party will be taking care of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then you also you got to be able to cancel your reservation. That seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Just because things come up in general. So yeah, we should have a cancel endpoint as well. Let's call that here text left. And yeah, similarly, you should be able to pass the reservation ID. And I think it should handle the rest on its own. So that seems pretty reasonable for, I think, our public endpoints, at least for the functionality that we're describing here. We're probably going to have a few more endpoints on the internal end. So let's get started on those. And so taking a look at the public endpoints that we've sort of created here, there's like a few internal things we might need. One thing we need is a way to calculate the actual individual payments on the internal side.
Yep.
And debatably, that could just be part of the initial endpoint. But personally, I prefer to separate them out. So let's see here. And yeah, so similarly, that should just take the reservation ID, because presumably and this, we can delve into this more later when we define our actual data schema, but presumably the reservation ID tells us like which specific garage we're referring to, and then like what the actual times are. That way we can sort of get the individual rates based on like what garage it is, and, like what time it is. Yeah. So that should be fine.
Okay.
And then on the reserve side, we probably need let's say a way to check what spots are currently available. That seems pretty reasonable from a UI perspective. So let's say we have a free spots endpoint. And one thing, I guess, when we're considering the parameters of what this specific endpoint might require, obviously we need the garage. But some other things that might be prudent are like the type of vehicle or the time. And the reason I say that is if we think about it, the larger spots, like you mentioned that over here, we define like there's a compact, there's a regular, and there's a large. The larger spots actually end up being able to be used for the smaller vehicles. Obviously, we would prefer to not have to do that down the line. Like we would prefer to use up all the smaller spots. But reasonably, if all of those spots are full and someone wants to reserve a spot, they should be able to reserve a larger spot, at least in my opinion. So those are just some things to note, I guess.
Yeah.
And then there's some of the more complex logic that's going to be held should be in the actual allocation of the spot. We don't have to dive into the minutia of the actual algorithm of that right now. But for now, let's just define that as, let's say, allocate spot. And that should similarly take
the loop principles.
The garage ID, vehicle type, and time.
Okay.
Cool. And yeah, that seems pretty reasonable for the three we have here. Some of the more optional things I guess we could be adding, if I'm thinking more about the actual product. Obviously, the ability to create an account seems pretty reasonable. If it's like a garage you're going to end up using over and over, we may want to incorporate that. So let's say we have a create an account endpoint. Some things that we might need there are, let's say, an email and a password seem like pretty reasonable for the initial things. And obviously we do some hashing for that. We don't want to store that in plain text. And then some more optional things like, let's say, first name or like last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as another thing to like note, optionally, you could also just implement third-party like single sign-on options like Google or Facebook login.
Yeah. And their payment details, I'm assuming, are going to be taken care of by whatever third parties handling that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. And then let's say we just have like a login endpoint just because you need that once you've created an account. Cool. So I think that seems pretty reasonable, at least on the first pass for the specific system interface we're working with. So let's maybe consider the actual like scale or scope of the problem. And we tackled that briefly when we discussed how we want like high consistency given the nature of this problem. But let's look at like the actual like size or like far-reaching extent. It's honestly my initial impression is that we're not likely to deal with like many at-scale issues with this type of problem. Like on a per garage basis, like even if we upper bound a garage optimistically at like 10 floors, like I don't think the average parking garage is going to have 10 floors, but let's upper bound it just for the sake of this problem. And let's say there's maybe like 200 spots per floor. That's like 2,000 relevant spots per garage. And the system, like I guess with 2,000 relevant spots per garage, I don't think there's that many parking garages in the world. So I'm not particularly concerned about designing this as a more distributed system. Like I think even if there's like 1 million parking garages, I don't like that's still not within the realm of like big data, in my opinion. So I don't think that really factors into the considerations here. That being said, as we mentioned before, we care most about the system being up to date. We don't really want to run into a race condition where like we happen to allocate 2 of the same spots at the same time. So those are just something to keep in mind. And then, yeah, I guess given that we are probably not going to run into that many at-scale issues, we can sort of jump over to the data schema side of things, how we're going to design the database.
Sounds good.
So let me shift over here on Whimsical, and then, yep, data schema. Cool. So I guess what are some of the first things we probably want to tackle here? Reservations are obviously the point of this entire product, so we can start with that. Let's go with reservations. Create a table here. Cool. And to start us off, we have, I guess as most tables will, we have an ID. And this is our primary key. We can sort of define it as a serial within most relational databases. And I apologize. I tend to lean towards relational databases for most of this type of problem. Reasonably speaking, you could probably go into more of a NoSQL type solution, but just more of my expertise lies in the relational database side. So presumably like some type of Postgres or MySQL is what we'll be working with here in this type of thing. So I'll be designing the data schema with that sort of perspective in mind.
Okay, that's totally fine.
Awesome. So yeah, back to the reservations, initial field ID, the serial, that way it sort of increments as you add more and more. It seems totally reasonable. What else would we want? So the other information we'd want in this sort of table, we need like which specific garage it's referring to, which spot we actually ended up allocating to it.
I want to know
and then the
which
start and
type
end
of
time
answers that
seem like
this
pretty
kind of
reasonable
questions
things.
really.
As well as, also whether or not.
Yeah, he's talking too much. This is low-level design LLD problem, not a full production system. They're expecting a back-end design solution that demonstrates object-oriented design, solid principles, clean class modeling, concurrency handling, basic database schema design, clear allocation, and fee calculation logic, not full UI DevOps setup. So what they actually expected from you should submit something like class design core part. You need to design core entities, parking lot, floor, parking spot, vehicle ticket payment, rates calculator with proper relationships, enums for vehicle type and spot type, interfaces where needed, clean separation responsibilities, spot allocation algorithm, show how you find available spot based on vehicle size, mark spots as occupied, spot on exit. They expect strategy pattern or similar, efficient lookup, not brute force every time, fee calculation, implement duration calculation, database schema, just something like parking spot, ID, floor, vehicle, tickets. They don't expect migration or actual DB code, just schema design. Concurrency handling, they want to see awareness of 2 cars entering at the same time. Yeah, so mention synchronized methods. What level of them expected? Clean Java, proper OOP modeling, some design patterns, simple but working logic, well structured GitHub project. Not over engineering, 1000 plus lines, distributed Kafka system, a GitHub repo containing models, services, strategy, enums, main, readme, and but then how will this code work? It will work exactly like real, just in memory storage instead of real DB. Think of Reaper. Okay. Okay, so I have to create an console app just like we did for MIDI track. And what was the other that I did? Shit, I forgot what I did. Let me open my IntelliJ. Just a second, I actually forgot two systems that I created. People are coming, joining, and then leaving. What's the library management and library management system? So we need to design a parking lot. So how a parking lot would look like, that is the question. So parking lot will have like many floors. Okay, and each floor would have like n spots. N spots and maybe m floor, then total spots would be m into n. Okay, but then there will be like vehicle type, maybe I'll say heavy vehicle, car, a bike. So this could be our enum. Okay, and then what else could be here? Da da da. So this bike, then there will be the so on the right side we'll start writing models. Okay, models will have like vehicle for sure. What else? So things to take care of. There are some functional requirements, then there are some parking spot allocation is our functional requirement. So functional requirement is must. What are eight. So functional requirements. Okay, functional requirements, we have parking spot allocation. Parking spot allocation. So things to take care in this one is like no two vehicles should get same spot. Okay, so this is must. Then what else do we have in this? Check in and check out record entry. So we need like check in and check out. So based on this one we'll do the fare calculation, parking fee calculation. So based on this one we'll do fee calculation. Okay, based on this one we'll do fee calculation. So the model and real-time availability update, and now available spots. Okay, so another model that I thought of was ticket. यार ऐसे लिखना बहुत ही मुश्किल है यार. ticket could be our another model, and ticket will have like what would ticket have? Ticket have like ID and then check in, check out, check in, check out, then car number, it is called registration number in US terms, and then maybe fare, total fare. Total fare. So this will be our final output. So basically this will be our ticket. Registration number, check in, check out, and fare or fees. This will be our output. And then what is the question again? Yeah, for this one, this will be our enum. This is enum that I have figured out. Yeah, this is enum. And then real-time availability update. So for this one, maybe we'll need parking lot, available parking lot, and then how will you know the availability? Let's see what ChatGPT has given. Vehicle, ticket, parking spot only will need, I guess, na. So what floor, and this will need parking spot. So we'll only need a parking spot. So this parking spot will have like ID, floor, and type, and then fare per hour or per minute. Fare per minute. And status, of course. Status will be again an enum. Status could be available, reserved, something like that. And then What else? What else do we have here? Real-time update. Okay, I guess this many database. बदले रास्ते बदले दुनिया की. I'll ask ChatGPT how much is this correct. So this is what I have thought and listed the models that I'll require. Let me know how much percentage is this correct, and interview ready starting point. You are on the right track. This is a solid set. How much? 70% interview. Oh, 70% already as starting point. Your core requirements and the main models are correctly identified. What's missing is mostly structure plus couple of key domain concepts that interviewers expect in a parking lot. What are you right on? Correct vehicle model, vehicle ticket, parking spot. You are thinking about the key constraint. Number two, vehicles should get same spot. No to this is concurrency awareness. You have already listed spot attributes like floor type, availability, occupied. That's exactly where you need top level aggregation model. So right now your parking, yeah, parking spot with floor filled, but interviewers will expect parking lot. Why parking lot and parking floor, two different things we will require here. As I was thinking, parking spot will be the final output. Okay, in this one we'll have floor type. Floor means which floor is it? Is it first, second, third floor, fourth, whichever the floor number. Then fare per minute. For that, fare per minute would be a tricky because there is a type that I have written, like parking spot would be of three types: heavy, car and bike. For heavy the fare will be on higher side, for car it will be on medium, and the bikes it will be on the lowest side. So how we will manage this relationship here? Type no, cancel. So these two things how we will manage, that is the question. Do we need a one more here, one more model here? Right now you have parking spot with floor filled, but interviewers will expect parking lot, parking floor, because allocation usually happens per lot, per floor, per, yeah. Availability reporting is cleaner. Spots by floor type are parking lot and parking floor. I'm thinking this is too much. Very sleepy now. Uh, I'm feeling sleepy and I have some more tasks to do. Maybe I'll complete. This is the basic model that I have created, parking lot system, and we are on the right track. So I have identified all the models required in this one. The functional requirement, check in, check out, and yeah, and tomorrow I'll do create different services out of this payment service, like fee calculation algorithm for spot allocation, which would be a good thing. And then the most important is like concurrency handling, like no two vehicles should get a single spot. So this is my to do. ChatGPT is saying add more models, but I'll add those on the go while I'll write the code, because I can see a problem. This type and fare minimum, these two can't be in the same model. So for sure those two will be different, should be different. Whoever is watching the stream, I can see many people coming and going. Please do like the stream, because it will reach to the similar minded people. If people are interested in such kind of thing, like learning new things, currently I'm learning Java, so it might be a same thing for them as well. So please do hit a like, do subscribe, and maybe you can leave a message, uh, something, so that I can remember you, because I remember many people visiting the stream and talking. Okay, so let me figure this out before closing the stream. Do which type of extra model that I need? It says parking lot and parking floor. What would a parking floor would have the model? What it said earlier. Let me. Parking lot is nothing but just ID, and parking floor is a list of ID and parking floor, and parking floor is this floor number and this map spot type. I'm not sure about this too. I'm not really sure about this too. Parking lot and this too. ID will have to test this by writing the code. There is no other way. So we'll also, how we will calculate fee calculation will be simple here. There is no rocket science behind fee calculation. We'll keep this as simple as possible. So fees would be vehicle will take vehicle type dot fare into checkout minus check-in. Okay, this will be in minutes, so those many minutes, that will be our final fees. This is simple. Okay, second is allocation algorithm. How we will allocate. So the easiest approach is like first FIFO method, like first in first out. Maybe we can use this one. And then third, concurrency. So suppose two vehicles, suppose two vehicles, same check-in. Okay, same check-in and only one spot. In that case, how would you allocate? How to, not how to, whom to allocate. allocate the spot? That is the question. So concurrency will not occur like this. We have to rely on our infrastructure so that there will be a queue of vehicles coming into parking lot. At least this much we can expect from our parking lot infrastructure. But then what kind of different concurrency that we will face here? Real-time update availability of parking spots in real time. So system smart parking lot, the system should handle vehicle entry and exit management, parking allocation and fee calculation. Algorithm develop an algorithm efficiently assigning parking spots to incoming vehicles. We can implement a logic concurrency, ensure the system can handle multiple vehicles entering or exiting simultaneously. What does simultaneously mean here? Like simultaneously, like one after the another, simultaneously like 10 vehicles leaving at the same time. So leaving wouldn't be a concern, because if they are leaving, all the spots that they have been allocated would get empty immediately. But let me ask GPT here, what would concurrency actually mean here? Concurrency here means multiple entry exit requests hitting on the system at the same time, and your code must still keep data correct. The main concurrency bug: two cars arrive together, both threads to look for an in an available spot. See spot 42 is available, both assign spot 42. Now two vehicles got the same spot, system is wrong. That's the exact thing your assignment hint is pointing to. Where concurrency happens in parking lot, check-in, most important, multiple vehicles entering simultaneously. Risk double allocation of the same spot. Checkout, two exit request for same ticket, duplicate scan, user retries, risk double charge of freeing spot twice. Availability display while allocations releases are happening, availability number should go negative. So the algorithm to allocate would be find a spot and yes, that's exactly, but let me refine it slightly so your interview ready. Allocation must be atomic, not just find a spot then later mark it occupied. Find plus mark occupied must happen as one individual operation. Thread A sees a spot 42 freeze, thread B sees spot 42 free, marks occupied. Now two vehicles got the same spot. Correct. Acquire lock, find available spot, mark spot occupied, release lock. Continue rest of the lock only cover the critical section, allocation part, not entire. Check-in flow. Allocate spot, lock, find first available spot of matching type. If none, throw exception, mark spot occupied, unlock. Return spot, this guarantees two threads can allocate same spot. Hi Divyam Batra. Hi. Oh, suddenly now 4 people are watching when it's time for me to shut it down. Uh, to people who just joined, uh, I was solving this smart parking lot question, which is LLD question mostly asked in the interviews, and this time I'll be creating the complete LLD low level design for this one. And right now I figured out all the models that are required, functional requirement, then uh, these are the services, the function, the main algorithms that we have to do, and what type of parking lot it would be, and what would be the output, the ticket, actual ticket will be the output of our this code. uh, while designing the models, I found out that there will be an issue. Like the first model would be simple vehicle would have ID and vehicle type, bike, car, or heavy vehicle, whatever it is. Then ticket would have check-in checkout type, and then vehicle registration number and total fare that we will calculate later and assign it to the ticket, and the final ticket will be our ticket, the output that will show. Then the third model that I figured out was that parking spot. A parking spot would be, this is our parking lot building, which would have n spots on single floor, and there would be m floors. Then total spots will be m into n. But not all spots will can be occupied by all types of vehicles. Hence, we need an enum here. So enum will have like heavy vehicle, car, and bike. These three types of vehicles. And I started repeating this uh, to for the new viewers that have joined, and the people started leaving. That's not a problem. And then to tackle this problem, I didn't thought it through, but the ChatGPT said create a parking lot and parking floor. The parking lot would have just ID and a list of parking floor, and then parking floor would again have floor number. And this shit is like over my head. I'm not sure. I thought of giving it a try once I start coding on this one. Then there is the uh, then there are like the basic issues, like how the fees would be calculated. So fees would be calculated based on what what is the type of vehicle. For example, heavy vehicle dot its fare. I'll create this separate enum for the fare and all the constants into checkout minus check-in time. Like it will give us the final time in the minutes. So the fare would be per minute. So vehicle type dot fare into minute, it will give us the final fees. We'll add it to the ticket, final ticket. Then there is a concurrency issue. So what this concurrency issue mean here is like no two vehicles should be assigned same spot at the same time. Okay, so I'll write the concurrency problem here. I'll explain concurrency problem on this side, maybe this side, yeah. So I'll write it in this one. So I'll explain like concurrency problem. So there is vehicle A, there is vehicle B. Both the vehicle come to the parking lot at the same time. It sees 42 is empty. It sees 42 is empty. So it assigns locks spot number 42. Similarly, B locks spot number 42, and then both of them would be assigned this 42 spot, assigned this spot 42. And this is what my friend is the concurrency problem. So concurrency, that means two vehicles, now both the vehicles will enter our parking lot and they say, oh, I have spot 42, other will say, oh, I have spot 42. They both will start fighting. No, we have to avoid this fighting. How we will avoid this fighting? The similar thing is usually happened in the IRCTC tickets allocation as well. So it is basically a thread. A is thread, this is a thread, okay, and this is a thread. Now every thread, whenever a thread starts, a thread should lock in the spots. So whenever A comes, A sees a spot 42. No, A don't see a spot 42. This is wrong. A comes, A locks, then A sees 42, A assigns. In this locking period, B can't function, not function, B can't check in. Only when this lock is relieved, okay, so unlock, then B can check in. This is what algorithm we have to create. This is the gist of this problem that I can see here. Okay, let me ask ChatGPT if this is really correct. I can see many people coming and going. You can just drop an hi in the comment in the chat, and if you have some question or if you are really interested, you can say something or like the stream. If you want to see me writing this into a code, I have already created. I'll show you. I have already created some. Yesterday only I finished one library management. In this one you can see I have created entities, different entities, documentation. For sure it's AI generated, but yeah, this book. Then there are services interfaces that I created, book service. This is basic, but now I'll have to ace my game up a bit. Okay, so let me ask ChatGPT, is this concurrency problem and solution correct? Is this concurrency problem and solution correct? बदले रास्ते बदले ज़मीं बदले. ChatGPT. No ChatGPT. कभी तो ज़मीं पर उठेंगे बातें करेंगे. I Hey, how are you? I'm good, brother. What's your name? Just browsing. I need some advice. Can you help me in that? I need. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please ask your question. I'll surely, I'll surely help you out there. Just tell me first. Tell me your name. Just browsing. What's your name? And then maybe we can take your question. Let me see what ChatGPT gave me answer. Was this my concurrency issue correct? Yes, your concurrency problem plus fix your draw is correct. Yeah, you have captured the exact race condition and the idea of using lock to make allocation single writer. Yes. That said, there are two important tweaks to make your solution truly interview ready. What what's correct in your drawing? Problem left side thread A, yeah, empty, thread B empty, both assigned race yeah, this is a race condition. This is a race condition. We need to use this term while giving during the interview. This is called a race condition. Let me write it somewhere. रेस कंडीशन मीन्स दो लोग आके सेम चीज़ लेने की कोशिश करते हैं. This is a race condition. Bro came and said, I just need. Acha, my name is Abhilash. I'm working in Bangalore, but recently have taken some batch on Python and feedback was very good from the students. Okay, so you are teaching Python and your students really liked it. That's it. Is it the case like you have started teaching Python and your students really liked it? So if I'm not wrong, then this is a good thing. Then what ChatGPT said it's wrong in our solution to the race condition. A locks in the thread, checks the available spot, assigns and then unlock, and then only B can check in. So ChatGPT said that is correct, but needs a fix right side. A acquires lock, B waits. A assigns spots and releases lock, B proceeds and gets a different spot. Yeah, Abhilash, you can continue asking your question. I'm waiting actually for your question here. I didn't say anything wrong till now. What you have written? Fix A acquires lock, B waits. Two improvements you should mention. Don't lock whole check-in. Lock only the critical section. Your note B can't check in is almost right, but better phrasing. B can't allocate spot until A. Yeah, B can't allocate spot until, but we can't keep on be waiting because you don't want to block ticket printing, fee, calc, login, etc. Only block find reserve spot. Lock should be around find plus mark occupied atomic. To be safe, your code should do lock pick a spot mark occupied. How do you think about this idea? Yeah, that is. See, before this parking lot thing, I was watching how AI is going to change, how AI is going to take over our jobs. So at this point, it's not just you trying to do some kind of side hustle or working, or in your case teaching is actually the best thing that you can do with your knowledge, and it's very important. So if you are liking it, your students are liking it, you are getting very good feedback, then you are on the right track. It's a very good idea, bro, Abhilash. You should continue doing that along with your job for sure. It feels like a downgrade to move to small city. Uh, but you said you are currently working in Bengaluru, but recently have taken some batch on Python. So have you left your job or what's the situation there? Why do you have to move from Bangalore to small city? Even though it's not wrong, but I want to know why have you left your job or lock should be around find and occupied. Okay. Even stronger optional. No, I'm in my job. You are currently working in Bengaluru. Is it a remote that you can shift to your hometown, or you can teach Python online, no? The batch can be online. Because I think building an institution here will take more efforts and money. See the type of I think you are little bit wrong here to think going to your hometown and starting a tuition there or something. I'm thinking of physical, and in small city the cost will be nothing. First understand who actually wants to learn Python from you. The people who actually want to learn Python and all, they already have a computer and internet, so they don't need a physical batch. That that I'm pretty sure about it. And in that case, you can start something online, teaching them online, convert them to online, and take online classes. Take something like this pad, and you can start teaching. Okay, if you can say this, you can start teaching online. This is the easiest way, so that you don't have to leave the Bangalore. You can still keep doing your job and you can still build your institution. Why you have to go to your town? Like that, if you go to your town, then the number of students being enrolled will be very small. The number will be very small. So this is what I am thinking. But why you want to go to online? Teaching is boring when the live batch is there. It feels good. Yeah, we can't actually compare the physical teaching and the online teaching, but the people who can be enrolled online think in such a way. If you go to your hometown, the max people can enroll will be 50 100, but if you go online, that can go into like 1000 2000, oh, god knows. Yeah, there is a scope of expansion. Now that you are also in IT, you know, like scaling is very important thing, be it application or be it your now business or the teaching. I will not call it a business, I'll call it a teaching. You can grow very easily online. That's what my point is, and it will serve all the purpose. You don't have to leave the Bangalore, and you can still continue online. You can actually give the physical, or what we can say, the how you teach physically, like on the board, on the stage podium, something you can create a setup in your flat where you are living in Bengaluru, and buy some good lights, and your setup will be ready, and then you can start teaching. Like you will also get the feel of physical teaching and how these uh, online teachers are teaching nowadays everywhere. The internet will take you to the places the your hometown will never be. Concurrent linked queue. What the fuck is concurrent linked queue? I hope it helped you, Abhilash. Correct, this is fair point. Yeah. From your statements, I can see. Thanks for his. Yeah. No problem. From your statements, I can see that you like teaching, which is a very good thing. There is no better job than teaching. You can go in depth. Yeah. Yes, it helped. Good, you liked it. I was about to end the stream on this one, but I continued and finished this part and explained this concurrency problem that somebody asked in the chat, but that guy eventually left. There's no issue, but I got it cleared. Whoever is new, please, yeah, Abhilash, you can like the stream. It will really help me to connect the similar minded people, and that's what I want at this point, to connect to similar like minded people. Cool, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Do hit the like. I was about to post about this stream. Do see my post as well. Like it. Public Java learning. For everything nowadays, I'm using ChatGPT. So fucking lazy I have become. Concise and poetic, of course, why not? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Whoever came, whoever not didn't came, that's not an issue.